Hey folks, Jack Griffiths here from Peach Guitars. Today we're going to focus on a range of guitars that's long overdue, I feel. And actually, when I first returned to the store to do videos earlier this year, these were the first electric guitars that I got to play. And they did make quite an impression on me at the time because these Powers Electrics are guitars that are unlike anything I'd played up to this point, in that even though they are fairly familiar in their tonal ability and the way, almost the way they look is kind of familiar, it puts us in mind of other brands and guitars that we're very comfortable and aware of. They're still their own totally unique thing, and that was very much by design. So in this video I'm going to play a few, kind of give you all the options in the range, show you how they sound, and you can be the judge of what you think about them. So hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. Okay, so to delve a little deeper into the lineup, it's actually fairly simple, but there are still a few options to be aware of that cover a lot of different ground in terms of the way they feel and the way they sound. So these are the A-type guitars. They're all A-types except some are A-type select models, one of which is what I'm holding here. And all the select models are flame maple tops with transparent or translucent finishes, so you can actually see the gorgeous maple. The other guitars also have maple tops, these standard A-type models, but you can't see, they're just kind of block colours, you can't see the maple underneath. They're also really, really lightweight ash bodies on all of them, so these weigh practically nothing. They feel like hollow body guitars. There's obviously some kind of chambering going on in the ash to make them that way, but they respond like solid body guitars, which is really nice. So, as I said earlier, they kind of put you in mind of other classic designs that we're aware of. To me, they kind of feel, my first impression of them was they're kind of like really cool, slightly different Telecaster type guitars, but when you plug them in, the unique pickup design and the unique body design and the slightly offset nature of them really don't give you much of a reference point. So when I first played these, I was a little lost in terms of, well, what is this trying to be? What should I approach? How should I approach this stylistically? What kind of things should I play on this instrument? And it didn't take me long to realise that that's the beauty of what these are. They're kind of a blank canvas, and that's a very, very overused cliche in the guitar world. But in this case, I feel it does apply quite well because it means that you can totally imprint your personality onto it, and whatever kind of style you play, it's just going to respond really well. And that's because it's been engineered in such a way that even though you have these nice visual references of classic guitar design, it's totally with the player in mind. So I'll run you through a few of the features that make up what these guitars are. I'm not going to get too spec heavy in this video because I just want to let you hear them and kind of give you my personal thoughts on them. But with that in mind, you kind of got some very interesting features here. Starting with the fingerboard. It's a split radius fingerboard. Now we're kind of aware of compound radius boards where they start with one radius down the lower end and they flatten out as you go up the neck. This isn't that. This is split from treble side to bass side. So on the treble side, it's a little bit flatter, so it's easier to bend and a little more comfortable for single note lines. And it's a little rounder on the bass side, so when you're playing chords and kind of clustered strings together, clustered notes, it feels a little bit more like an acoustic guitar, I suppose, is kind of the ideal that they had in mind. But however it works out, it means that it does exactly that. It's very comfortable to play single note lines. I find myself not kind of fluffing as many lines almost when I play these guitars for lead lines, and then when I play chords, it feels like there's good separation and there's a nice roundness to each of the lower strings as well. So that's the fingerboard. The thing that I really, really love about this guitar, probably the most, are the pickups. So these are Andy Powers' unique design, where they're using a Faraday cage to eliminate noise and hum, but they're still true single coils. And the variance between the models, this guitar, for example, it has a partial Faraday, which means that the top of the pickup is actually exposed, and it's using the same material as the pickguard is made of. And then you've got the full Faraday model, which has, as the name would imply, a full Faraday cage, metal on top of the pickups. There's a slight tonal difference there, which you're going to hear in the examples in this video. So this guitar having the partial Faraday, I feel like it has a slightly more open tone, works really well on clean tones. You get this kind of extended dynamic range in the high frequencies. Now there's not much difference between the two, but when I feel like I go to the full Faraday pickup guitars, it sounds like it's maybe a tiny bit more compressed, a little smoother, really suits gainier tones. So I feel like when I'm going for those overdriven sounds that you're going to hear, there isn't quite as much of that articulation in the highs, which can sometimes be perceived as harshness in the wrong scenario. So it just depends on which kind of tones you gravitate to more. I personally really like these partial Faradays, so I like that openness, and I feel like I can always back it off with the tone control or manipulate it with pedals, but they're both great options. And then the last significant hardware decision that you have to make with these guitars is the bridge you want. So you either have these stop tail models or you have the cam tail trem, which is quite interesting in that it compensates for whatever string gauge is on the guitar and kind of provides the relevant tension so that you have the 0-point return mechanism with the bridge, which means that you just get very good tuning stability and it feels very fluid. It doesn't ever feel like it gets stuck like some traditional tremolo units can. Despite me thinking that that would be the bridge of choice for me, I actually personally prefer these stop tail bridges because I just think they feel a little bit more fluid. The trems are fantastic, and they're definitely, if that's the kind of instrument you're looking for, you want that as a feature on the guitar, obviously choose that. But these to me feel a little bit more streamlined, a little more simple. It puts me in mind of, like I said earlier, those kind of slightly modified Telecaster sensibilities where it's just as few moving parts as possible makes for the maximum kind of varied output as a player. At least I feel. I feel like I can just put anything into this guitar and it will output it seamlessly. So just a tiny bit of background on the company. Powers is the name given from the luthier behind them, so it's Andy Powers, who is master builder for a long time for Taylor acoustic guitars. So that's kind of what he was best known for, making these incredible advancements with Taylor's acoustic lineup. He was responsible, for example, for V-type bracing in their more recent guitars. So he's a real genius when it comes to the physics of acoustic instruments. And in 2023-24, that kind of time, he wanted to explore those kind of sensibilities with electric instruments, and so decided to form his own company and put out these rather unique instruments. And there is a video earlier on the channel from a couple of years back when the Peach team went out to California to visit Andy for the launch of the company and got to know a whole lot more detail than I'm going to be able to offer you here. So if you are interested in more of the history and the details of the company and the design philosophies and all that stuff, go check that video out. That'll be linked down in the description below. That'll give you more of an idea of the ethos of the brand and what they're all about. But today I just want to kind of give you my personal perceptions and opinions of the guitars and try and help you as a player understand what they're about. So if I were to personally summarize what I would use an instrument like this for, as I said before, it's kind of a bit of a blank canvas, so I feel like I could just apply any style that I want to onto this. Immediately picking them up again today for the first time in a little while, it put me in mind of the kind of feeling and tonal sensibilities of something like a Rickenbacker almost, or a Gretsch, in that it has this very unique articulation. It can still do all those classic Fender type tones as well, if that's your thing, because these single coil pickups are very wide ranging in their frequency bands, but I would say there's something a little different about this, and I can only equate it to other brands like those other ones I just mentioned, where they're just that little bit kind of outside of the curve of the regular guitars we're used to seeing all the time. And yet that's still unfair to what these are, because they are very much their own thing. But I think it kind of charges your playing with something different. It informs you in a different way and leads you in different directions that you wouldn't typically go down with some of those more classic, more popular guitar designs. I just think that's interesting to do to yourself as a player. It's interesting to challenge yourself in that way. Maybe just take an amp that you're really familiar with and tones that you would typically use with other guitars, and just see what these do to your playing and see where it inspires you to go. I mean, I know that all sounds quite wishy-washy, and I could apply that to almost any guitar, but with these I feel like it is legitimately different, and you can kind of tell that that was the whole idea just behind the philosophy of the pickup design and the wood design and the design ethos that's gone into these instruments. It is genuinely something a bit unique. As I said earlier on, the main thing I want to do with this video is just show you how they sound. I feel like that was kind of overdue here on the channel. I think they sound excellent. So I was playing all these guitars through a Bad Cat, Black Cat Mod Shop amplifier. So really simple, just a couple of different tones and a delay and tremolo making an appearance here and there, and really just letting the guitars do the work. As I said, there is a slight difference between the two pickup styles, the full Faraday and the partial Faraday. I'll let you be the judge of what you prefer. But I think you'll hear that across the board, from really nice shimmery cleans to more full-bodied overdriven tones, they can kind of do it all with very little input required from the player. So I really enjoyed playing them. I hope that you enjoy listening to them. Let me know in the comments which is your favourite and what you think of these models in general, because they are genuinely something different. And if you're the kind of player who's looking for something, you're tired of the old classic designs, but it's what you're familiar with, and so you'd like a little bit of that sensibility married with something new, maybe I suggest you check these guitars out. And if you want to check out the full range of what we have in stock, click the link down in the description below and head to peachguitars.com. You'll find the full range there, and there are more instruments on the way very soon as well, so if there aren't any colours that tickle your fancy, I'm sure there will be in the near future. So that's it for now. If you've enjoyed this video, hit like, comment down below, hit subscribe if you want to see more from us. Take care, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.